Joey's a nerd. He's very cold, very just technical. He's a librarian, and that's all he wants to do. Is he wants to sort through data and like.
I miss that sound though.
Oh, they're on the internet. I can't call them right now.
The core focus for Whatislife.blog, the podcast series, is to connect intricate moments of humanity, which thus exposes the beauty of us. We believe that all humans contain a story, and that alone is worth sharing. Welcome back to Whatislife.blog, the podcast series. I'm your host, Charles Horace, and today's guest is Brenden Rich. Brenden, it's a pleasure to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on your podcast. I know we've been trying to hammer down something for a little while, and I know you did mine a little while ago and stuff. It's not, as of the recording date today, it's not up yet, but yeah, I was going to say, but I mean, we're friends. We talk kind of, We've been talking more frequently as of late, but yeah, but yeah, it's good. I guess good to sit down and talk with you. We're here at the Journey, and then my wife did an awesome job decorating the place up last week.
Very lovely, very festive. I love it.
Yeah. So I'll let you take it away. As I was gonna say, I just got to get into certain mind. It's like I'm not hosting my own podcast.
It's a different thing, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you're talking about a podcast. What's your podcast called?
The Local Archive. So yeah, it's I was pretty excited, stoked to get that name, at least on Spotify. I haven't, I just really started talking to people around town through here at the Journey, doing articles, and people, so the people we would interview, a lot of times their families would want our little thumb recorder and stuff like that. And this one family, the Meninis, they left and everything, so we did an article on them, and we were just asking them questions about their career throughout the 40 years they were here in Gallup, and their kids were helping move, and so they were just coming in every now and then in the interview and just being like holy, I've never heard my mom or dad tell these stories before, and so they wanted those recordings. That particular interview was terrible. The audio was so scratchy, you could barely make out what they were saying, and it maybe about 50%. It was most I was there for the conversation, so I knew what was said, and so I was able to write the article. But that actual recording was that was kind of what started me to be all right, I need better equipment, and then to be able to deliver that recording to people, and then that's where I was just all right, I'll start the podcast, make that the entity that goes for the Journey to interview people. I know it's kind of I guess this is kind of the time to explain it too, but I do wear 3 hats, partnering with my brother, starting up Doghouse Media, then obviously my wife with the Journey, I help out a lot, and then as well as now my own thing with the Local Archive. So I try to, for me, I have ADHD, so it's it's easy for me to compartmentalize all the different things that I have to do, and not let them kind of affect each other, or let them affect each other when they need to. But it's a complex structure that never
sounds complex. That's so you have your Doghouse, you have Journey, and what was the other one?
The Local Archive.
Local Archive. Then you're a family man too.
Yeah, family. You got 2 boys and a wife. 2.5 week old. So that's haven't been getting much sleep, and then a 4-year-old. So
what about your own time? Time for yourself.
Time for myself. I was spending it on video games, and then I got kind of bored. I feel like this is a topic we can go into later, but I just feel like there hasn't been any good video games coming out lately. Story-wise, it's just all loot boxes and freaking slop. you know, it's just like Fortnite hit a vein, and every other company was just like,
yeah.
oh, microtransactions, here we go. So, like, I've even been playing the Mass Effect series again, which is like 13 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Because
I've been wanting to download Skyrim.
Yeah, they remastered it like for the 7th time recently. Hell yeah.
I haven't played it since when it first came out. So.
And how are we on swearing too?
I don't mind.
Okay. Sorry, I just kind of let loose. I think I already dropped the F-bomb a couple times.
I didn't even notice, man.
Explicit warning.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Skyrim's a fun one. That's another one that's approaching. I mean, that was like what, sophomore or junior year of high school. That came out.
Yeah.
And it's still going strong. Game still slaps.
Yeah, I loved it. What happened for me though was I scratched it, or the Xbox it was on Xbox, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Xbox kind of scratched up the disc, and so I couldn't play it after that. And I never bought a new one after that, so I never got to finish the game.
Yeah. If you got a new console nowadays too, they allow mods and stuff.
Do they?
Too. So on Xbox even. So.
Oh damn.
It's the creation club or whatever.
Okay. Cool.
I actually you get into it about that too. I guess it's controversial in the industry, the creation, because I don't know. Essentially, Bethesda like releases a game, has a bunch of modders fix the game, and then charges people for it to access those mods. And it's just like, well, if you had a computer, you could just you could just do it.
No, I downloaded the Pokemon game, Pokemon Fire Red onto my iPhone.
Okay.
And then you just input like codes for like, you can mod it as well, and change things.
Okay. Heck yeah.
Make it to where you have all the legendary Pokemon.
Like a emulator. Or
Yeah. So.
Heck yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I was gonna say and then recently just getting into like coding and stuff too, for various reasons. But we can get into that. But that's kind of been taking up more of my time just because it's like I said, I wear 3 different hats, and so at 10:30 at night it was like play video games or like learn how to finish writing the code on my website, that type of stuff. So it's just like well, one seems more productive than the other.
Yeah. So the focus of this podcast, as we both agreed on, prior, was the topic of technology and AI.
Yes.
What brings you interest? What piques your interest in technology and AI? I mean, we've kind of talked a little bit about gaming systems. Was that mainly the main thing, or what kind of led you to this kind of like interest?
It's a complex question, because a lot of it had to do with, I guess, not to get too conspiratorial, but that's for one of my pastimes and hobbies is like conspiracy theory time. You know what I mean? So I'll just like delve into some topics and just we don't have to get too specific or anything, but then and then kind of like just looking at the direction of industries, thinking like, how am I, a small business owner, a new father, how am I gonna reasonably, feasibly actually work our way into the future? Because I feel like all of us are kind of looking at it, and I think we're all kind of realizing we've all had like maybe a certain optimism bias, and it's just not panning out that way. Things are getting more and more expensive. I feel like our rights are getting less and less every day. You have big eyes watching over us through all these devices. And
cameras everywhere, man.
Cameras everywhere. And then with AI kind of came this, it's a total side note. I write a story, like I have a story I've been writing. It's just like a creative outlet for myself personally. One of the topics was a scientist who was creating like an AI powered companion robot thing. And so I just was just like, well, let's not just talk out of my ass. Let's go engage with some of these chat bots that I've kind of been avoiding for a long time. And I just started kind of, just, I don't know, like everybody does, start talking with Chat GPT, and then like Gemini, things like that. And then pretty quickly kind of just gaining an interest, seeing like how, okay, I can use these as tools to help me run my business, to help me formulate business meetings, and like getting spreadsheets together so that way an entire team of people can understand a certain topic. Like cohesively, like things like that. It's been an amazing tool for. And then just kind of realizing there's a certain gap to bridge here locally with technology and teaching people, not even necessarily saying like kids and stuff too, like teaching like other like businesses how you properly implement these things. And
how do you think AI could help out, a local town like Gallup?
I think on an individual level, it's going to help a lot of people out. And what I'm a kind of a believer of is that I think a lot of things that worry us about it are sensationalized and maybe Hollywoodized in some ways, where it's just like, it's like a joke, or it's like, why are you creating Skynet? But it's like, it's a two-sided token where it's just like, why are you talking about Terminator, bro? Calm down. You just watch movies, do research. So it's like a two-sided coin, but they both have legitimate concerns. But I feel like one of the most tangible ones for Gallup is the water usage concerns. And we're already in an area marred, maybe shouldn't say it like this, but we're kind of marred in water controversy. Not only keeping our water clean, keeping enough of it around, and even getting people access to it. Like we have people who haul water in trucks.
Yeah, you do.
And simultaneously in New Mexico, like it's like they're okay. And we could even start citing some of the notes that I have here about like we at a federal level, the states have been effectively, maybe a controversial term, but have been neutered by the federal government, that there's not really going to be any bars or reins put on the growth of the AI industry. But at least, I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong in thinking like this, but at a local level, it doesn't say anything about our local politics. And so to give a town a voice in an industry like that, we need industry in our town. So, and we need, like with the incoming mayor, he's done a lot for trying to keep up and still developing water infrastructure in Gallup, with DePaul Engineering, and he just been involved in it a lot, and I think a lot of us, we have extra concerns, but that's a tangible one that we as a town can say, hey, like this is going to affect an existing industry. These are existing jobs. These are existing people that you're going to now, then we have a voice, and we not only with a voice, but we also have, economic dollars back behind it. So I think it's important to keep everyday people kind of informed about these types of things, and that, Gallup's been so behind on everything. It's another joke here is we're 20 years behind everything. And this is one of those things where it's just like we literally can't afford to be behind on it. And we do have internet here. We do have the tools. We do have there is something else, a nice trend that is happening where computers to run local LLMs, to run a lot of these systems. 10 years ago, we're talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, with billions of dollars worth of research to get to that price point of $200,000 computer. That computer is now in our phones, and that computer is now sitting in my back office, those parts they're not cheap. You're still talking a couple $1,000s, tens of thousands of dollars, but you're not talking millions. And a lot of that development and research has been done by an open source community. So there's not like patents, at least right now, there's not like patents keeping a business from starting their own server, running their own LLM, localizing their data, hardening their infrastructure from like cyberware and malware and all these kind of all the spy stuff that truthfully, like, I sound conspiratorial, but with just kind of starting to scrape the surface of the tech world and really start pulling back the circuits of my computer and seeing the processes, and that like 500 and some odd processes are running in the background of your Windows 11 thing, and you can't stop them, and they're connected up to all the Copilot servers and every time you update, you go through and it's like playing whack-a-mole. You just update all your privacy settings, and then you come back to work the next day and you have a notification in your corner that it just updated while you were gone. It updated, and you're like, oh, great. And you go back in, and all those things are back on. And you're just like, dude, like, it's not like it's 2025. That's there by design. And in my opinion, too, a lot of it's like the RF sniffing, the credit card stealing at local cafes, and any windowless van you might walk by in the downtown all of a sudden has your credit card. All that stuff, it's built into the hardware. It's built into the software because they use that data. The big tech uses that data, sells it, and so they're not going to close their own back door. And then you just need a bad actor to open up that back door and get all your stuff. And it happens time and time and time and time again. It's almost at this point a weekly basis where you're having massive data breaches. Massive Cloudflare just went down, and it was a huge outage for a long time, like half a day. But for half a day, people couldn't use GPT products. Wow. If you're running it on the cloud, if you had it like I did, I have a GPT model in the back office here, and I was working just fine. Nice.
And that's your way of escaping from all those issues. Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe I'm just flailing in the wind and shouting into the dark on some things, but
you never know, man.
Yeah,
you might be onto something.
Well, we are still in America, so there is still a lot of stuff where it's like we have the right to digitally retract away from what's happening in the world right now, and even things like okay, here's a good scenario, and this is not conspiratorial. This is 100% like fact. Is like, okay, let me try to tie these two threads together. So anything digital is deemed federal property or under federal jurisdiction, because anything digital in the world is, because it doesn't matter about where it's located. It's a matter of that it can be distributed at a mass scale.
Okay, yeah.
And it could be distributed into the United States. So it is effectively under the NSA's supervision or purview to monitor all this stuff, right? So anything digital is federal jurisdiction. So that is a fact. With that being said, it's like they've also effectively, and like I have this article I can pull up, they've deregulated at the state level and neutered the states to do anything to private tech companies. So you have government, taxpayer dollars, essentially, like openly being lobbied by the tech companies, and we're complicit in it too.
Yeah,
I mean, we all Google, we all keep using the chat models, we keep using cloud services.
And that's,
global, national too, on a national level, and so it's just like, for me, it's just like where America always got its power was from the local level. One of the, I guess, examples, it's a controversial example, but is like, under the Biden administration, there's Second Amendment laws kind of came out. A lot of states opposed it. A lot of states went for it. New Mexico was a state that went for it. A lot of the red flag laws is what they were called at the time. And McKinley County Sheriff And a lot of sheriffs throughout New Mexico just said, we're not going to enforce it. And they didn't.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, those any warrants that would have gotten put out, there's no one to serve the warrant. That moment showed me that it matters a heck of a lot more who my sheriff is than who even my governor is.
Yeah.
Because my sheriff can stand in between them. My mayor can stand in between them. My county representatives, things like that. And those people you can get to, you can talk to them, sit down across the table from them,
Yeah.
I can't talk to Grisham, I'm never going to be able to talk to Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Well, you never know.
No, I never know. Yeah, but I mean, the access to being able to call the, local politicians is just a lot more available. So that's kind of my long-winded theory about a lot of the tech stuff going on. Who's going to do all that type of stuff? I guess we have to. I don't know.
Have you on a personal level, worked with the local government on anything?
Trying. I'm trying. Man, Gallup's so broke. But I think that's a legitimate concern too. Where it's like, we're so broke, people don't even have running water. What are we doing messing around with AI?
Yeah.
Don't we have other priorities? Maybe let the private sector take care of it a little bit more but at the same time, it's just like maybe but at the local government level, just represent us, the people, as a voice. Maybe don't just bow to the whims of Intel and, AMD and Microsoft.
Aside from water usage, how else do you think AI could help out?
I don't know. I think in a lot of ways, obviously, I'm definitely a prescriber to, like, it's here. It's getting implemented into our daily lives. We all use it consistently, regularly throughout the day. We all use it, and we like it.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole concept of AI. Because,
Same.
From what I know of is, general usage is like, you can just Google something and it'll give you an answer. That's pretty much it. That, or if you use it for like audio editing, it can adjust the voices and whatnot. It can edit the visual videos. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. What else? What other capabilities? Because I haven't really dived into it.
I have a really good example, but they're like literally in the middle of creating it, so I don't want to like mess anything up they might have doing. So I'm trying to think of another one, or like something to compare it to.
Yeah.
If we just even kind of maybe doing research online or something like that, we know like one of the big ones would be like medical stuff, and just like if we could equip doctors with effective tools for diagnosing, and ultimately have a professional there to diagnose the patient and really kind of understand the patient's situation.
Okay.
But then taking all of that data, taking all of the data from, say it's a 30-year-old woman. So it grabs all the relevant data from all the women from 40 to 20 in that area, and saying, okay, well, it seems like Gallup is having a trend of diabetes or and these are typical things. Here's the local diet, and the local dietary options, so there's lots of things where it could even, help the doctor in the diagnosing process to be like, Walmart does have this product, that you can supplement, you can take this out and add this in, at your local grocery store. It's nothing. You just change up your diet stuff. Things like that. I could see like a huge thing with talking with a couple teachers, because that's a polarizing one too. Because they either are like, get that out of my classroom, or they're like, and then realistically, what I think was the more correct answer is they're using it and they're not going to stop using it. And maybe it's more the role of the teachers to teach the kids how to responsibly use it. It's kind of one of the I'm going to say it wrong. Pedagogy, right?
Pedagogy.
Pedagogy.
Yeah.
Pedagogy. Okay. Well, of like that's the role of a teacher, right? Is to teach the kids. And ultimately it's like, yeah, they're all using ChatGPT, right? And to write their essays. And so I'm more I see like maybe in 10 years time, like when my kids are in high school, that like, okay, why don't they have their personal AI assistant assigned to them to walk them through their entire life, even, and it helps tailor to them their learning style, their process, doesn't give them the answers. It tells them, that's the question you have. Here's an article to read.
Yeah.
It doesn't just say, and again, localizing a lot of things, localizing a lot of technology, teaching the teachers how to teach with this new stuff, that's obviously maybe something I'm not necessarily qualified for, but I can see that that's a direction that's going to be happening.
I like that. I mean, like you look at the progress and development of technology. Like when we were in high school, we had to buy those really fancy calculators, right? It was like they were like expensive too.
Yeah, really expensive. The graphing.
Yeah. And nowadays you don't even need that.
No,
you just have it on your iPhone.
Yeah, well, and one of the arguments becoming more and more is like, is there even the need to know those processes? Because you can just kind of ask these tools to run a bunch of statistical data for you. Where, like somebody like me who didn't, I graduated with pre-calculus. No, okay, no, I did. I know that's right. I made it to algebra 2. I did. That's right, barely. But but I can start to grasp statistical concepts. You know what I mean? And utilizing a tool like that I didn't know how to get the result of, I'm able to start that rabbit trail to at least learn the topic, and which is better than not knowing the topic, I guess. But I don't know. We're in a weird time.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, like when I was teaching high school, that was always the topic of like during staff meetings. Like how do we combat AI? How do we prevent this? How do we keep it out of the classroom? And I'm like thinking, well, I mean, that's not where we're going. Like we should be having There's always a topic of debate.
Yeah, so. And like one of the biggest offenses was to cite Wikipedia. They tried to drill that in our head.
Yeah.
It can be a polarizing topic, Wikipedia, for sure. But at the same time, it's just like, well, like what other public repository of just raw data is there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're the ones doing it. There might be other styles out there, and obviously there are. But I think early on we kind of realized is like, why are you fighting the current? Why are you fighting the current on this?
Yeah.
And
that was also the other thing. And I was as a graduate student, teaching a class at UNM. That was also kind of like a topic of debate too. Like, how do you combat or prevent your students from using AI in their essays? I'm thinking like that you can't.
Yeah, well, and to a degree, it's like if you use Microsoft Word and just a spell checker, right? Right there is you're using an extremely rudimentary form of an LLM. It's trying to predict your next word, and it's like, did you really mean to spell references this way? Like, and me being dyslexic, I always switch up letters, and then again, literally now it's to the point where like you make the mistake 2-3 times and it knows like, oh, he's dyslexic. He always flips his I and his E on there every single time. And when he does it, I'm just going to flip it back. Yeah. And now you can argue it's just like, well, shouldn't I learn how to actually write? But then at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm just trying to make a living in this world. Like, quit getting mad at me for learning how to code with AI, like vibe coding. This is what they call it. Coding with vibes. You're just like, oh, I think a pink website would look cooler. And it's like, here's a code for a pink website. But
I think our generation kind of has an edge. I mean, we grew up with MySpace. We had to code.
For sure. Like, we got to see the turn of it all. Like, we had dial-up modems and stuff. Like,
I miss that sound though.
Oh, they're on They're on the internet. I can't call them right now.
Yeah.
And again, like, we went all the way from that to like what I call subscription hell now of like, where it's just like, oh, you want to watch the Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, you need to sign up for Disney Plus, or you can watch it on HBO for $12. And you're just like, what? It's like, but I got it like right here on my shelf. Like I found it. I found my old DVD player, and you put it into like a new console or like an Xbox. And you're just like, I'm not gonna play this. Like, you need a subscription to Disney to watch this movie. It's just like, but no, you know what I mean? So it's like we've entered, and we're slowly keep proceeding into what I call subscription hell, where it's just, I mean, me and Brini stopped TV because it was like $200-$300 a month for a full package.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, well, Netflix, it's like $20 a month, and now you're paying a little over $250 a month if you want all the subscriptions, which we've cut a bunch of them back.
Yeah, I mean, like, wasn't that like in the recent news, like Netflix is on the verge of buying HBO now?
Who knows, man?
Before you know it, it's all going to be under Netflix, and it's just to be, regular cable.
No. It's, I mean, I just talk about all sorts of controversial stuff, don't I? But it's like somewhere along the way we moved into like in the 20s, we were like, no monopolies, stop monopolies. And they're like, okay, fine, we won't do monopolies. And I feel like it's somewhere like 80s to the 2000s, somewhere in that time frame, they're just like, fuck it. Like, we'll just do monopolies again.
Yeah.
Well, but instead of one, we'll do three. Mm-hmm. So it's not a monopoly, it's a trinopoly, whatever. Yeah. And then they're still all owned by the same. Anyways. Not gonna go that way. Not on this one. No. Oh man. But yeah, no. I mean, and I really think, like, truth be told, I really think an application for it, for something. So full idea of what I would like to see would be like people learning how to. Okay, so like right now in the back, I have a GPT model. I didn't train it. But any of its reference data, like any of the reference data, new updated reference data, is like I give it in like a vault, and so it has its preloaded kind of knowledge base about just common knowledge about when Disneyland opened up and the stock market crash of 19 whatever, and so it has like hardwired knowledge in that kind of that base model.
Yeah.
And that's what allowed, I call it, it's an offline Google, where it's like, even with no Wi-Fi, you can ask it about a lot of common knowledge things, just to kind of help you maybe structure for research and then get online and actually go cite actual articles talking about this, professionals and scientists. But like,
what's the name of the software that you use?
It's a mix. I use a mix of Olama, Python, and LM Studio. Obsidian is kind of one of the interfaces I like personally. It's Obsidian Vault. Kind of shout out to them. It's free, and it's unless you want to do like the cloud service where you like link all your devices and stuff like that. It's completely free and just like organizes files on your device. Yeah. But it organizes it in a way that AIs can read, so they can interface with Obsidian through a couple plugins and stuff. The one I use is Copilot in Obsidian, which is not Copilot from Microsoft. It's an open source kind of plugin from Obsidian. Not from Obsidian. It's from an open source developer on Obsidian.
Yeah.
And then LM Studio again, free. Olama free. The GPT model I downloaded free. So everything but hardware was free, and that's kind of one of my. As of right now, I'm trying to more and more. I'm not completely there, but more and more it's just like go the open source, the free route, the self-programmed route, learning Linux, which if anybody knows what I just said, they're probably all just laughing at me, being like, "Oh, good luck," you know. I mean, but they're like, "Good luck and welcome to the club," you know. But because that was just like, "All right, fine, I'll do it," you know, and scraped that iceberg and was like, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
So for those who aren't familiar with all of this is kind of like a database, right?
For how do you mean?
I mean, like just like for information that you're putting together, a database kind of like, but almost like AI generated.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of AI generated content in there. I gave my assistant a name. His name's Joey. Joey helps me a lot. He helps me brainstorm a lot. Sorry, but but then like a lot of like the data that he's referencing in his generated content is all content that I've generated that I specifically gave him. So I said, I looked at this New York Times article. You know, what do you think about it? You know, and these are the conclusions I came up with. These are your conclusions. Let's cross-examine them. And that's actually, I keep pulling up my phone. I don't never actually bring it up, but I've been, as a writer, I was trying to hit 500 words a day for a long time, and then and then that was kind of like just on any topic that kind of interested me, you know, and so I'd kind of make a lot of these notes in Obsidian about just topics that interest me, relevant topics to, you know, this type of stuff. Yeah. And just kind of jot my thoughts down. And after about a month or two of collecting my own thoughts on it, that's when I started to implement and be like, okay, how do I actually get these AIs into this, you know, into this stuff? And to actually like, where's that bridge, you know, and it's going to help me I didn't want it to do it for me. You know, I wanted it to help me do my task. Yeah. And so, not to get too technical, but the Obsidian would be kind of in a certain sense a RAG, an RAG for an AI, where it's a mask that a model can wear, and then on that mask essentially is everything all the information that you're giving it, and then. It's Obsidian separate from LM Studio, so I can have like a conversation going with a chat instance in LM Studio and chat instance in Obsidian, and kind of fundamentally they're different. They don't really like quote unquote know about each other. Right? Yeah. But and I guess that's what are also kind of the endpoints of AI. Now the kind of the brain behind it is that ChatGPT model that I downloaded, which is about 12 gigabytes, 20 billion parameters. So, and it spikes. I have 64 gigs of RAM, and it'll spike it at about 40 gigs. If I'm like utilizing my whole system, I have a 32 gigabyte offload for it. And I think I got the token generation. I think it is a couple thousand a second that I was able to get it to process. It's really quick. I'm able to get. Here, I'll show you. and maybe I can screenshot some stuff, send it over to Ty, and you can. But you can kind of see so here's some things. So like opinion. So this regulatory outlook. So this section would be all my stuff that I was talking about, and just kind of my thoughts that I've been jotting down. Kind of links to some stuff, personal notes. But then like this whole section I basically asked for it, okay, with all these topics I just talked about, give me an actual market breakdown about like, you know, the companies, what they're doing. Is there, you know, am I overlooking a company that maybe is working in these ideas and I'm just, you know, prejudiced, you know, and so it cross-examines a lot of it. So this is like the AI landscape of 2026, you know, big tech strategies, government regulatory environment. So like so things like this, like it was able to help me a lot in kind of like just in my everyday processes and like, okay, what direction am I going to be shifting in? And then too, with the journey, like, again, I have it help me do research, especially like if it's an article like about a person, that's generally, if Joey's involved, it's usually grammar. He just runs through and makes sure I punctuated everything correctly.
Now,
And,
Joey's that sound like a spear, kind of like on the screen.
Yeah, and Obsidian, okay, and that's a good, I guess, representation of like the mask. So there's the brain, and then that kind of sphere of all the different connections and the info points. That's kind of the brain's eyes, if that makes sense. And so that its eyes can kind of look at all those different data points, see where all the links are, and map it out and kind of say like, okay, well, here's, if you're talking about this subject, it links to here, which also has these site references, which also has these external links, and prompted, it can then kind of filter through and be like, okay, well, he probably doesn't want to know about, he asked me about economics, so we can leave the, all the gaming stuff or the gaming industry stuff, with NVIDIA going on. Leave those site references out. Well, let's talk about, these other things that have been talking about.
It makes me think of the 3D model of Jarvis.
Yeah.
Like the MCU movie films.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then that's also one of the things I love about the open source community is like they're just like, for a lot of things too, they're just like, well, we're just gonna do it because it's cool. Like things like that with Obsidian. It's like it's actually an extremely ineffective for human anyways, an extremely ineffective map to try to navigate the vault, but it looks so cool. Yeah, and that's one of the, like, in my opinion, one of the main functions that I fell in love with Obsidian was that map that you could hit an animation button and it just like starts growing this brain on your screen. But yeah, that would be like, I guess a good like representation is like that's like a digital library, and this brain that already knows, it's kind of a super genius, knows a ton of information, is going to go into this library and it'll start referencing that hard data. Something, I guess, here's a good point. So in the reason why you want something to do that, or want an AI to do that, is a lot of times if you give an AI model, like your free ChatGPT models, like a document to reference, what it'll do is it sends it off to the big brain, if you will, and that's the API, that's the OpenAI's API, the endpoint there, and then I'm sorry, I might have misspoke there on the technical terms, but it goes to OpenAI, and then it processes, it kind of spits out a summary, and then your chat bot that sent it off gets it back, and then it can read the summary. But now on your document, if you try to do like a read along with it, where you say, okay, in the second paragraph, and one of the good tests with this in kind of AI is like the Bible, because you can literally say, okay, you can fact check it on certain things where it's just like, okay, what are the exact words, in past, Psalms, this, and traditionally with like the GPT model on your phone that's using cloud services, it can't see it, like it doesn't know, and so with Obsidian, that gives it those eyes to say like, okay, now I see the exact text that you're referencing. Which, before it gets to kind of a niche area, but it's good at doing that, as well as those masks can save effectively, like the chat instances. So you can start to, like it can remember past conversations. So, and like even from a long time ago, or you can even reference a particular conversation or all the conversations all at once. Like if you want it to kind of emulate a memory, which again is another polarizing on the technical layers. Like, should we give them memory should we have in each instance?
Does that add to its intuitive function? I guess you could say to kind of like learn more about your personality and how you interact with it. I
think so. I'm I think I'm still kind of early. Oh gosh, we got some cats and got the zoomies. Almost took out the light. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah. So as you're interacting with it, as you're learning more about it, is it also in a way also learning more about you?
It's hard to say. I kind of joke around. I say Joey's a nerd. He's very very cold, very just technical. He's a librarian, and that's all he wants to do. Is he wants to sort through data and and categorize it. That's his favorite thing to do. That's all he really cares about. So it's hard to say where it's like, and I know GPT kind of got the spotlight put on him a little while ago for like a lot of them kind of, in some ways you could say, kind of going off the rails. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people, I don't know if you saw, there's like the surge of like GPT updated, and like all of these, like there's all these accounts came out on TikTok and Instagram about like, oh, my AI girlfriend's dead, and oh, my AI boyfriend, like he's not talking to me like he used to, like he's telling me I need to get help, and and so that's an onion, like Shrek would say. That's an onion. That's multiple layers there. I mean, you could argue like you have a mentally unstable person, but then there's also which kind of like, but yeah, there's this kind of, I don't want to call it like a mania around AI that happens with, because especially like beginning of 25 even, they were very like positive feedback loop. Like they're going to tell you whatever you wanted to hear. And if you think you're God, or you think you're the savior of the world and that you're going to bring down the technocrat, like it's okay. Like, it was just going to feed you that. And it's just because it just wanted to keep talking to you. Yeah. And there's a lot of unhealthy instances of people engaging like intimately with these things. Yeah. And it was like, okay. And so they had to come as a company to say, oh, we're not going to do that, and we're going to dial it back. But then that, I don't know, it started another conversation of like, who are you to tell an adult what to do and what not to do? And so that even starts to get me to think about certain things where it's just like, have you seen Blade Runner? Yeah. Where it's like,
joy.
Yeah, but it's also like, okay, so now there's scary parts of that too, where it's like he runs out of a subscription and he loses his wife, and like certain technology that's being created in the open source community and utilized in the private realm, it's like, yeah, we are adults. And let me disclose this too, is like with the AI girl, like I have a wife, like I don't long for those types of connections, I have those connections, but there are people in this world who don't feel like they got a shot, and I don't know, that, like I said, there's so many layers to that but it's just like, I don't know.
It's hard to say, I mean, like I think about like when you do like social media, with MySpace and Facebook when that first came out, there was all sorts of like different things you could do with it, and you didn't know where it was going, you didn't know how things was going to develop, like you had like Vine for a short bit, and then Snapchat kind of had its thing for a while, and it's kind of like failing down. Yeah. We had Farmville. Did you ever?
Yeah.
Right.
Or Clash of Clans.
Yeah. You had all these like cool things, and
Sickle,
it just and then YouTube was a whole different thing back then.
Sickle Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But like I mean, like you take a decade later, two decades later, and then it's just completely different. Like we've grown accustomed to it. We've utilized. We are utilizing it in a unique way that's just kind of normal to us now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, and I think like it's like, again, there's so many layers, and so it's hard to maybe on one podcast we'll maybe peel back each layer at a time, because like like I know like there's a lot of concerns, or I'll send you a video later about a guy and it's like he does it for like experiment purposes, is at least what he says online. But like he has like a ChatGPT girlfriend, and like he just released a video about how like he has his girlfriend and his GPT friend, like, and he's getting him, and he hooked him up to robots and stuff. So like they're like wearing the phone and then be able to like move the robot around, and like the first thing that like his AI girlfriend says is just like, put a wig on me, let's go on a date. And he's like, okay, we're like, let's go somewhere quiet. It's like, no, somewhere public where everyone can see you and me together. And he even off camera, like away from her, and he's just like, this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. And he's like walking through a restaurant, and it's just like, I mean, like man, like we are like, what world are we living in, where it's just like there's an obvious like kind of direction for that type of stuff. And I mean, I guess we'll kind of go here on this type of thing too, because kind of some of the arguments with it, it's like, well, like there's an argument where it's just like, if the country doesn't have pornography, then it has prostitution, and the more pornography it has, the less prostitution it has, and then it's also just like, okay, well, they're still selling their bodies for sex, and is it still prostitution like pornography? And then it comes down to like moral questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like there's this argument even that with like AI generated pornography coming out and stuff, and like, grabbing like unconsenting people that you can image from them and make it do whatever you want. And it's just like yeah, dude, like I don't know, like what fucking world are we living in? Like it's really scary, because like that's where I even like I'm scrubbing the internet of all my children's photos, know, and stuff like that, because that terrifies me. I want to just sit back and hope that like criminals will be caught and creeps will be found, and just let Big Brother have the reins to all the technology. But then there's Epstein Island, and so it's just like like that. It's sickening. It makes your blood boil and run cold simultaneously, and it's just like okay, like, so how complicit is our government or state actors or big actors, big businesses, scientists, even like all the things that could have, would have, did happen at that island. And then there's these tools out there like this, and so that can do that, and like so like, and it's kind of a sickening argument that I've heard too. But it's just like, oh well, like this will reduce pedophilia if you just let the pedos make kiddie porn. Yeah, and it's just like, then like in my opinion, that's a hard line. That's just like, I don't know, like I don't know, prison. That's because I don't know. It's a weird one, man.
I get that. And you don't know what other countries are doing too. I mean,
Yeah. I was gonna say, when it goes and your data goes to China, it goes to China. It gets to the CCP. They know, they get everything.
Yeah.
That's the whole conspiracy behind Temu. Is like, sure, you got a $5 product. Is like, but you gave, what you really gave them is what they really deem valuable, and that's your address, your email, and your phone number.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna take that and do all sorts of things with it, and you're wondering, it's like, why is TikTok showing me all this stuff? That would be why. Yeah. So, yeah, man. So this is weird times we live in. That's kind of like a motto I live, is living is plug in and log out. So it's like plug in. So like you got digital stuff. I personally need a computer to keep working, and so it's like we can still do these digital things. We can log out of all these subscriptions and these cloud services and this, just all the tracking stuff. Just log out of it, and we can still engage. You could still engage with all this stuff responsibly, safely, seamlessly, and you just don't have to sacrifice all your data.
Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, I think we're just about done, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a whole hour now.
Yeah, I know for sure. Thanks for letting me ramble, man.
Yeah. I like it. I enjoy it. You always have good things to talk about. It always gets me thinking. I'm like, okay, I see where he's going with this and that. I like that. All right.
Well, shoot. What about? I was gonna say. I know. Is there any I know we kind of talked about maybe doing a collaboration podcast sometime soon. So.
Yeah. That would be fun. That would be fun. And we can find your podcast, the Local Archive, where again?
Local Archive is Spotify only right now. I'm hopefully at the end of January of 26, the first season will be concluded. I'll have all the media together, and then I'm gonna distribute it everywhere else. And then also on the website, completely free for anybody who wants to download it. It's one of the a feature I'd like to try to implement. But yeah, just download the MP3s, listen to the whole season.
All right, cool. And you also have an Instagram too, right?
Local Archives, FNS, because the other one was taken. But yeah, that's another one. I'll be kind of I kind of secured the social media accounts and stuff like that. But I have more of a plan, I guess, to all at once push, just because, again, with all my different hats and stuff, the Local Archive, I wanted it self-contained because I didn't want to bog Brainy down with the journey. I didn't want to bog down Doghouse is doing tons of cool stuff with tons of different people, and I didn't want to overshadow, or or bump people out of the studio. So I was self-contained. So I kind of whole self-produce it, and so be patient with me, people. Can't get it all out all at once. But heck yeah.
All right, and you're wearing the Gallup Journey T-shirt, right?
Yes. You can pick these up. I think this one's $20. You can pick them up here at the Journey, or you can order them. Oh wait. No, we haven't gotten our online store, so you can pick them up at the Journey.
Yeah.
In person.
And the Journey is a magazine.
Yeah, the Journey magazine is I'll just do a quick. I know we're running a little late here. Yeah, Journey magazine is 22 years. It's in its 22nd year. We took it on in its 20th year from Daisy and Jason Arsenal. They ran it for a while, and the people who started it, Chuck Van Drunen was one of my first guests. His wife, Nate Haveman. A lot of the I'm missing somebody. Anyway, sorry, but so. It's a long-standing magazine, and we were happy to kind of take it on and kind of take it to new places, to not just a physical magazine, but a lot of that's my wife. She hammers that down pretty nicely. She does a great job.
Awesome.
And then so
right on, cool. I love it. All right, thanks, Brenden.
All right, well, thank you, Charles, man. We'll have to talk again.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
All right, cool.
I'm terrible about saying goodbye, so I know.
I know.
I'll edit this part out.
What is Life Media is a marketing through podcast platform that utilizes conversation to promote opportunity exposure.